So in this video we will be talking about array list. So everyone knows what is an array, right? So now let's say we have an array of size 6 and in runtime there is a requirement that we need to add 7th element to that array. Then it will not happen, and in Java it will throw an exception, right? So to solve this problem we can use array list class. You can consider array list as a resizable array. Right. Array list grows dynamically at runtime on adding the element, or it shrinks while deleting the element. Internally, array list uses the object class array. So basically it uses the array of the object class. Right. Now to initialize the array list we have three constructors. Let me just start the pointer. Okay. This first constructor creates an empty array list. Right, we'll go into depth of each of these constructors. For now let's just understand the basics. Now this second constructor, this initialize the array list with the initial capacity. So I can create a new array list of capacity 5, so it will create a list with this as the minimum capacity, right? And third is the array list of collection C. This means that it will add all of the values from the collection C to that array list, right? So now before we go into this depth, let's understand two terms. One is the size. So size of the array list means the number of elements currently residing in that array list, and one is the capacity that what actually is the size of array which array list is using internally. Okay, so let me just create one file and then we'll go into that. Array list demo and just create the main function. Let's say we create a array list of integer. So it's a generic class. Let me just open this array list class. So as you can see, it's a generic class. Just increase this size. So it's an array list is a generic class E. So we can pass E at runtime while creating the instance. Like we have done here, we have created an array list of integer type, right? It extends the abstract list class. So this is the abstract list class which have all these methods, like set, get, add, remove, index of last index of iterator. So array list have all those methods, plus it also implements the interface list, right? So that's why we have assigned it to the list interface, like parent can hold the child reference, right? So this is how we create the instance of array list. Now this is the first constructor we have talked about, right? So now it will create an array list of, we have talked two terms, right? Size and capacity. So for this case, size would be 0 as there is no element in the array list, and capacity would also be 0, right? Now what do I mean by capacity here? So I have discussed that capacity is what the array list internally uses the array. What is the size of that array is the capacity, right? So when we have called the default constructor, so this is the default constructor, right? So this, what it does, it assigns this element data to this default empty data, right? So we will first see what is element data. Element data is an array of object class, right? So this object element data is actually holding the data, right? And it has assigned it to default empty data. So it's a blank object, right? Blank array of objects. So what this line does is internally it initializes an empty array. So size is 0 and capacity is 0. Now if this would have been array, then we are screwed because we won't be able to add any more elements to it because the size is 0 and all, right? But let's say now I add this 1. So it will automatically grow the array list to some size, and then it will add this element 1. Now we will see how it implements how it dynamically grows the array list, right? So we'll just go to add function, right? So what it does is it calls this function ensure capacity internal with size plus 1. Size is currently 0, right? We have seen size is 0. So now this ensure capacity internal is called with 1 as a parameter. We'll go to this. Ensure capacity internal is 1. So this min capacity is 1, right? Now what it does, it is call first calculate capacity with the element data which is currently empty and min capacity which is 1, right? Because 1 is passed to this function as a parameter. Now it checks if this element data is equals to empty element data, which is true currently. So it will return math.max of default capacity and min capacity. Min capacity is 1, right, and default is 10, which is greater 10. So it will return 10. What does it mean? That whenever we create an empty array list and then when we add the first element, it automatically make this capacity to 10, and after adding this element the size would be 1, right? So initially, if I write this in a better way, after writing this line the size is 0 and capacity is 0. After writing this line, size is 1 and capacity is 10, right? Now if we add one more element, let's say I add 2, then size would be 2 and capacity would again be 10, because it will not increase the capacity for every subsequent addition, because this is a heavy operation, right? We need to allot memory. Will just, since we are increasing the size of the array, we need to copy all the elements and all, right? And we'll just see what happens when the size is more. So now while adding 2, we'll just add this with 2 again. Now size is 1, so we'll call ensure capacity internal with 2, right? We just call the calculate capacity and it will be called, now this is not empty, it has some data, right? So it will return min capacity which is 2. So it will ensure that array list will have a size of 2. Now we'll go to this. It will just check that if min capacity which is 2 not grow here, because 2 minus 10 would be less than 0. Okay, so this will not grow and it will add the elements to the array list. Okay, and that's how it will work. Okay, now we'll see the second constructor, which is this array list with the initial capacity. Okay, so again it's exactly the same. So it's just we will define it with, let's say, 5. Okay, so now let's see what happens is it's called with the initial capacity and it checks if the initial capacity is greater than 0, then it assigns the element data to some specific size, right? So now it initializes the object array with this initial capacity, right? And now when we add the element to it, let's say as I see list, so at this point size is 0 and capacity is 5. Okay, now if I call list dot add, let's say 10, then we'll see what happens. Just go to add function. Now this size is 0, so this is called with 1, so it needs to ensure that array list should have a size of 1, right? This calculus capacity is called, this is not, so this min capacity is 1, right? And this is not empty, so it will return 1. So it will just check whether, so it will just basically need to ensure that the size of the capacity, basically not size, the capacity of array list should be greater than or equal to 1, which is yes. So it will not grow because this min capacity is 1, 1 minus 10 would be less than 0. So hence it will add the element and the capacity remains the same. So then size is 1, capacity is 5, right? Okay, so this is the second constructor we talked about. Now the third constructor is let's say we just add few elements, list dot add 1, list dot add 2, and now we create a new array list. and pass this list as a parameter. So this is a third constructor. So basically this is where we have called the array list with another collection. Array list is itself a collection, so we can pass array list or some any other collection, right? So now what it does is simply the element data is the array, and it assigns the element data to this collection. Basically we have just converted the collection to the array, which is with the toArray function, which is of lists interface. As you can see, toArray is the function here in the interface, right? So it's just called toArray, and it just copy the data and all. If sometimes what happens is, as per Java documentation, c.toArray might not return the object class, so it is just copying the data manually, right? But internally, basically what it does it just assigns the element data, which is the object class array, to the data from the collection by converting it to the array. Okay, so these are the constructors, right? Now if we talk in terms of performance, and now anyone can guess it, considering they have understood the internals of the codes. So the add functions, it's just order of 1 complexity, because it's simply adding the element to that particular index of the array. So it's O1. Removing, okay, now adding the element to a particular index is On, because it moves all that element. Suppose if we want to add the element 0 index, then it needs to move from index 0 to n to 1 to n plus 1, then the 0 index would be free. Okay, removing the element is also order of n, because it needs to iterate. So let's say if I index the first index and the size of array list is 10, then from second to 10 index it needs to move, right? Get is order of 1, because it's just simply getting the data from that particular index. So get fifth index, it's just written array of 5, which is order of 1. Contains and index of function is order of n, because it iterates, right? So there's a function array list dot contains 5, so it's need to iterate over the complete array list to check whether the 5 element exists or not in the array list, right? So these are the complexity, but these are pretty obvious. I mean, you can simply refer the code and you will understand, right? Now there is one more term, mod count. So in every function you can see, so while adding, let's say we'll just show you, while adding you see, and it calls ensure. So every time we do any operation, it increase the mod count. So what mod count is, based on the actual definition, it is the number of modifications that have been done to that array list, right? So suppose there are two operations. I have added the element, I have added another element, then I have removed the element, then I have removed the element. So basically 2 insertions and 2 deletions. The mod count would be 4. Now so this is the mod count. So it basically keeps tracks of all the modifications that are happening currently in that particular instance. Now how it is impacting us, right? So I'll just write some basic code, and we'll see one exception occurring, and the reason would be this mod count. Okay, so what I'll do is, so we have created the array list, and we have added 3 elements. I have just add the iterator list dot iterator, and we'll see we'll first see what the exception is coming, and then we'll see the reason of the exception by looking at the internals of the array list code only. Okay, now so we have created this iterator. Now we'll iterate over this it.hasNext, and we'll print the element it.next. Okay, and we'll just run it to know whether it's working or not. Okay, it's working. It's just printing all the element. Now suppose I have done this, I have maintained the counter I equals to 0, and I want, after printing the element, I just want to remove it from the array list. Okay, so I'll just remove I plus plus. Okay, so what this code theoretically is doing, it's checking whether the element exists or not. It prints the element, and then it removes the element from the list. Now when I run this, it will show the exception. The exception is the concurrent modification exception, right? Now we'll see why this exception occur in the iterator code only. So when I call this list.iterator, okay, it's the list. So we call this iterator. So we go to this, it returns the, we call this iterator function over the array list objects. So it returns this iterator. Now what it does is, it, so before, in this case till here the mod count would be 3, right, because we have done 3 modifications to this array list, right. Now what it has done is, so there it initializes this mod count to another variable which is the expected mod count, which is 3, right. So now mod count is equals to expected mod count equals to 3, and on every next function, basically the next function is this, on every next function it calls this function check for modification, and if the mod count is not equals to expected mod count, then it throws the concurrent modification exception, which we have got. So now to see what happens is, till here the mod count is 3, right, and expected mod count is also 3. At this line it checks this condition and this is true, so it does not throw exception. But when it does this line list dot remove, now mod count become 4, now mod count is 4. Now again when it reaches to this line, again when it reaches to this line, it checks, now expected is 3 but mod count is 4, right, then it throws the concurrent modification exception, right. So we should never do this in production or in real time, otherwise it will throw the exception, right. So that's it for this video. Thank you.